Jahmyr Gibbs is him. Achane is him. Bucky Irving is him. The week of the RB. The week of the RB. Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs. Absolute fire from the running backs in week number 12. From the guys we expected to do well. Christian McCaffrey, not so much. Niners in shambles. Tyreek Hill, we're being lied to. There's something going on. He's missing his foot inside his shoe. We don't even know. They're not telling us something. A big celebration show for a week where we had literally so many players on bye week or injured. This was a fantastic week number 12 for the fantasy football show and the show players. Malik Nabers very upset, and rightly so. We'll talk about that and more. The fantasy football show, the Bucky Irving celebration show, the Jahmyr Gibbs, Achane celebration show, the Aaron Jones celebration show, Cortland Sutton looking like a monster show. That show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Not everybody understands why Jahmyr Gibbs is as good as he is, because there's science and data behind it, and people don't know the algorithms. They come in here, they run their mouth, they don't understand the data and science behind it all. But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10.
Got him.
Achane. Achane.
What a bunch of monsters today. There was some down things, some downers, of course. MHJ didn't do anything. Joe Mixon was a complete no-show. That was wild. It was wild. Nico Collins was absolutely great, but had another touchdown, a long touchdown called back. Unbelievable. The referees hate Nico Collins, but he still scored. He still had a great day. Let's get into it. JJ's going to be a good buy low if you can still trade. A lot of people can't. Just real quickly off that that massacre of the Green Bay Packers massacre of the Niners by the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love, 2 touchdowns, 163. George Kittle was solid in the game with 82 and a touch on 6 catches. That was a good play. He was the only good play for the Niners. Josh Jacobs, 26 totes, got injured, came back. He's fine. 106 and 3 tutties. Unbelievable day for Josh Jacobs. He smashed. Jahmyr Gibbs, 21 carries, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the week 12 win over the Colts, adding 3 receptions for an additional 9 yards. Thank you.
Let him cook.
We also had our boy Achane. Achane. Say his name. Say his name. He is the one who knocks. His name is Achane. Say it right. Say it proper. 10 carries. Oh, what a bad game he probably had. Wrong.
Muy mal.
Be wrong, my friend. You would be very wrong. 10 carries, 32 yards in the Week 12 win over the Patriots, adding 24 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. That's touchdown.
Let him cook.
What a day, what a day, what a day. We got Malik Nabers, didn't really get targeted at all until like the 4th quarter. He said, when we're down 30-0, what, you target me? Hey, reporter asked, what do you think the problem is? Is it the quarterback play? It's not the quarterback. It's not the quarterback. Is it the coaching? Is it the play calling? I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's not the quarterback. It's not the quarterback. It's the same result with Danny Dimes or another quarterback. That was what Malik Nabers said when interviewed. He's pissed off. He says, how am I supposed to do anything if you don't get me the ball until it's 0 to 30? We're down by 30, then you get me the ball. 6 of 9 targets. He pulled in 6 of 9 targets, 64 yards. He can only do so much, and this is why. And take a lap on me for also being as wrong as I think some people were on Nabers when they took him too high and expected too much. I did the same thing with MHJ. A lot of us did the same thing with MHJ. I think MHJ could have had a much better day. He had a touchdown that was like a millimeter of movement out of being counted. They did a replay. They did not overturn the call. It was ruled incomplete. Would have changed every little narrative we have about MHJ. But unfortunately, it is what it is. You can't keep making excuses for players that don't deliver. I still buy MHJ. I still hold him. I don't drop him. He's still a wide receiver 3 potential player, especially in week 14. We go into week 13, have a pretty decent bye week free situation. Then we go back into bye Mageddon in week number 14. And guess what? We're gonna be very interested in starting MHJ in those environments. But he is very much a headache. I get it. But Nabers, people were taking Nabers way too high when he didn't even have a quarterback situation. He didn't have anything. And I do like him. I still think his future is very bright. But you got to wonder, this franchise is inept. This GM is the worst GM in football. His name is Joe Shine, and I wouldn't let him shine my shoes even if he went and got his shine box right now and showed up live at my door. I wouldn't let him in. I'd tell Ziggy not to open the door. Isn't that right? Yes. Ziggy, would we allow Joe Shine in this house?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Okay, I know the answer. The answer is no. I wouldn't let him shine my shoes. Go get your shine box, Joe. And go get me a coffee while you're at it. Joe is the worst GM in football. And the Giants are probably the worst run organization in football today in the NFL. The Cowboys are right up there. And so you ask me, he'll be okay next year. Will he? Will he be okay? Wasn't Caleb Williams set up better than any rookie QB's ever been set up? That was the phrase they said. He's the best. He is the best situation a rookie QB has ever had, they said. Don't tell me that Nabers or anybody on the New York Giants roster is safe because they have a high draft pick. We don't really know what's in store. I'd buy Nabers low if someone's panicking, but there is some concern. There's some legitimate, we have a conversation, do a bunch of shows about concern in terms of Nabers' 2025 value. Mahomes, they also said this. I remember hearing this quite a bit. He's not worth starting in fantasy. In fact, I would drop Patrick Mahomes to the waiver wire. He's not somebody you can start moving forward, they said. 27 of 37, 269, 3 tutties, an additional 60 yards rushing, which is like having 4 touchdowns. He essentially had 4 touchdowns. That's the kind of points this guy dropped. 269 and what is equivalent to 4 touchdowns. He had a day. He had quite a day. And I'd say he's probably worth starting going forward. Don't you think? Bucky Irving, a little show favorite here. We love Bucky. Bucky's fantastic. Remember it was like week 2, maybe week 3. I forget where we said, what's Bucky Irving's likelihood of being the best pickup of the year? And we gave him a 9. Bigsby flirted with this territory at one point, then he dropped off. Then it was Bucky, then it was Bigsby, then it was Bucky. It was back and forth, if you remember that. Bucky has been one of the show favorites here for quite some time, and I think it's probably time that Bucky graduates to a 10 where he sat already in terms of, okay, if something happens and he starts getting more work, Bucky goes to the mother freaking moon, and Bucky looks phenomenal.
Let him cook.
Bucky absolutely ripping up 150 total yards, 12 totes, 87 yards on the ground with a touchdown in the Week 12 win over the Giants, adding 6 receptions for 64 yards, a touchdown, 150 plus yards. Bucky Irving going to the mother freaking moon. And if anybody has Bucky and you've been kind of worried about your RB2, you may not need to worry anymore. This might be your saving grace, the guy that takes you to the promised land. As we mentioned earlier, we have this piece of news here. Nico Collins, 5 of 9, 92 yards and a touchdown. Doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't tell the whole story. This guy had another touchdown call back. In 2 weeks, he's had over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns called back on 3 plays. On 3 plays called back, in the last 2 weeks, this week and last week, his first week back, he's had well over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Called back. So the refs hate him, but we love him. And Fantasy World still got 5 of 9, 92 yards. And let's go.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
What a day. What a day for Nico, regardless. Tua Tagovailoa, kind of a crafty play, we said. We pulled up the schedule about 7, 8 times saying, well, but there's a little matchup over here. This nice little matchup right here against the New England Patriots who could put up a fight. This is going to be the potential rebound of Waddle. This could be, and might not be, because we don't know if he's healthy, the rebound of Tyreek Hill. It obviously wasn't. Tyreek Hill, we're worried. But Tua Tagovailoa and Jonnu Smith, great call on a lot of your questions. Jonnu Smith balled out. Tua Tagovailoa balled out. Jonnu Smith, if I have Jonnu's stats somewhere, let me pull those up. I have them around these parts somewhere. I think it's right here. Here it is. Jonnu Smith, 9 of 11, 87 yards and a touchdown. Look phenomenal. The guy's aggressive. The guy knows how to get into the end zone. He's got a nose for the end zone. Tua Tagovailoa, 20 of 40, 317 and 4 touchdowns. Remarkable day. The fact that Tua had this kind of day and still did not. Ziggy, show me the front door. And Tua still did not connect with Tyreek Hill. It's got to worry the hell out of you. In fact, if we go pull up Tyreek Hill stats and put those up on screen right here. Ziggy, show me the front door, damn it. We've got 5 of 6 targets for 48 yards. Tyreek Hill, there's something going on with Tyreek Hill. Ziggy, off. Tyreek Hill, 5 of 6 for 48 yards. When this man has 4 touchdown passes and 317. Something's going on. Something's going on with Tyreek Hill deeper than what we're being told. And are we used to being lied to? We absolutely are. At this point, you can't trust anything you hear about Tyreek Hill. At this point, like I did the video last night for a reason. These 3 guys have the most risk. And if you own them, you should have been trading them away before the week kicked off if you were able to even trade. And Tyreek Hill and CMC and Lamb, why they still to this day would be a potential goodbye low from a Panic Peter that's trying to get rid of them for pennies on the dollar, it's still a very, 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 very risky play, regardless, across the board for these 3 gentlemen. And Tyreek Hill could be shut down at any moment for his wrist. He has a torn ligament in his wrist that we were lied about. We were lied to. We were lied to about that information. Shanahan doesn't tell us anything, and from his own coaching tree, Miami Mike McDaniel, head coach of the Miami Dolphins, seems to not tell us things as well. Because Tyreek Hill, there's something going on. I don't buy that there's not. Jaden Daniels, remarkable day today. Jaden Daniels had a day. In fact, let me just go to JD5's box score real quickly and just make sure I'm getting this correct. He had the rushing touchdown, yes, 1. Did they call back one of his other rushing touchdowns? I want to say maybe he had another one, or it could have been. Does anybody remember if that's why I'm thinking he had 4? He had 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, 275, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and he had, let's see, it was how much did he have on the ground running? It was 74 yards on 7 carries, which was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, I'd have to say, he's back. You know what I'm saying?
To the moon.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Yep. I'd have to say he's back, and so is Terry McLaurin, who
Too much!
exploded with an amazing, touchdown reception that should have turned the tide of the game, and then, of course, things went awry. They scored on that play, and then they missed the extra point, which they shouldn't have even kicked. They were having a horrible day on special teams anyway. They should have went for 2, should have went for the win. They had the momentum. They had the excitement. They could have called a timeout to calm nerves if that was what was the concern. But what a day for McLaurin. What a day for Jaden Daniels. Austin Eckler got injured in that game. Let me put that real quickly on screen. Austin Eckler got hurt. He is in concussion protocol. Looked very, very bad at the time. Brian Thomas Jr. also got hurt, so we got to monitor that room. Nichols might be a guy to pick up. Jaden Waddle, 8 of 9, 144 and a touchdown. If Tyreek Hill is out, guess who's in? Jaylen Waddle.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
So, and this is kind of what we talked about for weeks now, that if Tyreek Hill does get shut down or proves to be ineffective, in the coming weeks, like there's something really wrong, this guy's going to skyrocket in value. And so Jaylen Waddle's got the potential, but don't be thinking you're going to get ultra consistency out of him. It could be something where you're hit and miss at times. 10 of 12, 67 yards, 10 receptions for 67 yards. Whenever the reception total is in the double digits, but the yardage does not even eclipse 70 yards, you can tell there's a gross misuse of resources. There's a horrible quarterback situation. There's horrible game planning, horrible play calling, very little chance of touchdowns. Whenever you've got a guy catching 10 balls for under 70 yards, you've got a problem. And this is another player, as noted in the video last night and in the graphic right here, of a shutdown risk. A guy that could get shut down in the final weeks when you think you're going good, everything's fine, and then he gets shut down. McCaffrey, everything's fine, then he gets shut down. Tyreek Hill, everything's okay. He's just, struggling. He's going to get shut down. These are big, risky players to own right now. JJ, Smitty, no one's buying him low. No one's selling him on the low, Smitty. 2 of 5, 27 yards. That is one of the worst games we've ever seen JJ have. Darnold got injured in the game. We'll have more updates on that as the days and hours progress, but Darnold was looking bad, and he's looked bad lately, and now he looks like he can't stay healthy either. This isn't the first time he's been kind of knocked out and come back in, get knocked out. JJ looks very, very shaky right now. On that note, I'm still buying at every turn. Of course I am. Hard to say that someone will sell him cheap enough to go get him, and you might not even have trading in your league. Someone said in the comments the other day, what's the point in your video when nobody's trading? How many trade questions do you see me answer back to back to back to back to back to back to back for 2-3 hours long? Of course some people are allowed to trade. Maybe you're not, but the world doesn't revolve around you, Steve5475 on YouTube. And there's other things that can come of this, like maybe you're struggling to start CeeDee Lamb, and you want to hear my confidence level. There's a lot of ways that you could even call in or super chat or ask a question and change the narrative and ask your question. When people say you need to talk more about this, I have an open format. If something's not being talked about enough, all you got to do is ask. I'm here for sometimes 1.5, 2, 3 hours. Terry McLaurin caught 5 of 6 targets for 102 and a touchdown. That's what I was talking about.
Let him cook.
Scary Terry was scary in week number 12. You know who else was scary? Jordan Addison. We had a lot of Jordan Addison questions, and I'm very proud to say that I almost always leaned Jordan Addison when I was asked about Jordan Addison.
Too much.
It was a good play. Jordan Addison was a savior for some of you. Nice job if you had him. Now, you could not expect this. I don't want to hear anybody saying, oh, Smitty. No, Smitty. Joe Mixon. I shouldn't have played him. Stop. No way you have hype about that. What are we talking about, donkey? What are we talking about, bro? I don't know what you're talking about. Joe Mixon, I shouldn't have played him, Smitty. Just stop. Joe Mixon had a bad day. Houston doesn't know what to do sometimes, but he'll be back on track. Joe Mixon's been absolutely unbelievable. Let's see here. Why these dudes can't be 100% honest. Who are you talking about, donkey? Are you talking about me? You talking about some of the followers in here? Like, what are you running your mouth about now? What did somebody do? Aaron Jones, 20 22 totes, 106 and a touchdown in a Week 12 win over the Bears, adding 3 catches for 23 yards. Had a day. The running backs had a day.
Tumas.
Running backs had a day. This is concerning given the state of the Niners. This is why there's such a big threat to McCaffrey being shut down at some point, is that there is word that there's not any clarity around the availability of Brock Purdy for Week 13. And the worst part is if we walk into a very questionable diagnosis with his shoulder, which they're being very vague about, just like Shanahan was vague about Christian McCaffrey's calf injury. His calf injury, right? Mario says, Smitty, my team's 186 points, still have Chargers D to play. Nice job. We got a lot of those stories. We got a huge week from a lot of you. In a week where we had so many buys and players on a buy, it's wild. So great job to all of you, to Mars.
To Mars.
But with this shoulder injury feeling a lot like Christian McCaffrey's calf injury that turned into bilateral Achilles tendonitis in both legs. Like, you can't make this up. And you can't make up that the league did nothing about it. Shanahan didn't lie. He didn't deceive us. He didn't deceive the news world. A world that is responsible, this fantasy football DFS gaming community, is responsible for a big reason as to why these players get paid so much. We matter. We matter more than people act like we matter. And I get super aggressive and animated and defensive over all of you, me, the content creator space. And when someone runs their mouth in an NFL environment, not a fantasy environment, but when you go into like an NFL page and you say, you know, why didn't you score a touchdown for me? And some joker says something like, you don't care about your fantasy, bro. They care about football and winning games. They don't care about your fantasy. They should care about fantasy because we help pay them checks. And they get us coffee. They work for us. JJ works for us. Jahmyr Gibbs, Achane, Brandon Allen. I didn't hire him though. I wasn't responsible for that one. But they work for us. So give us some damn respect. When we say, hey, score a touchdown for us, maybe you should pick up the phone. So my point here is this. We're probably being lied to on Brock Purdy's shoulder. Who knows if it's a UCL situation relating to his surgery, because he had a bridge, kind of like I don't want to call it experimental, but it was a strange little surgery versus the Tommy John, which he probably should have had. It was the stronger of the surgeries. It was the suggested surgery for him, but he took the shortcut route. Who a lot of people said, well, it's not experimental, but it's still new, and it's a bridge. Instead of doing the Tommy John, they wear the UCL, which goes all the way down your arm, where it snapped. They just put a bridge in, kind of put in like a patch to connect the two. It's who knows what's going on with it. It could be causing the shoulder pain and injury. If it's a rotator, he's in trouble. And the point of me going on this little rant is just to say that there's a shot now with the Niners getting lambasted by the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Cardinals did not win their game, so now there's still kind of things are in flux a little bit. The Niners are no closer to the division, top of the division, but they're not further. And the Rams are going to potentially try and put some distance between themselves and the Niners tonight against the Eagles. And I better put that pregame on so I know when we're starting, because then I won't have a clue of what's going on. And you guys will be like, go, go, go. And I'll have no idea that we're a go. So I'll put that game on there. There's a real good chance. My whole rant is, I'm sorry, I'm long-winded here. McCaffrey being shut down, the likelihood of it is really high. Really, 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 really high. Let's get to some of these super chats and then potentially open some phone lines. Congrats to all of you that won. Jungle, Bucky, a dog. He absolutely is, bro. Bucky.
To Mars.
Just an absolute monster. Bucky to the mother freaking moon. Celtics, I had a dream Nabers dropped 30 this week. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Everyone hit that thumbs up button for Smitty to the moon. Thank you, DJ. Appreciate you. Celtics, Bucky, now Kyron time. That's right. And for all the people that are complaining about Kyron right now, before the game even kicks off, I'm ashamed. You know, die-hard Niner, but agree with you, Shanny needs to go. I've been saying it for a long time now, and it's so wild to me. I don't want to say I'm like happy to see it, because I'm never happy about any human being's downfall. I never root against a fellow man. I don't wish ill will upon anybody. This world is too great, and especially our country, and everything that we have, to ever wish ill will upon anybody. Everybody has a chance to win. Everybody could win. And so I'm actually rooting for anybody that you think I'm not. Caleb Williams, I'm even rooting for Caleb Williams. You may not think that. You may not believe that, but I am. I root for everybody. It's just my job here is not to come in and be rah, rah, rah and give you false hope. I'm here to be critical of what I believe to be true. And if that means that I've got to say Caleb's not it, he's going to fail, blah, 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 doesn't mean I'm not rooting for him to win. I'm rooting for everybody to win. You need to understand that about me. Because that's the big difference. And everybody should take that approach in life. I'm not rooting for anybody's downfall. I think that Shanahan is just a great mind for the game, offensive coordinator, scheme guy, but he's a horrible head coach. And people, and again, I'm not excited that it's true, that what I've said is true or coming true. I'm more so proud of the stance through thick and thin that we've had on this channel for years now, when people come in and laugh in our face. Niner fans laughed in my face over and over and over, hundreds of them. I go live with Raj, we'd have 500 to 2,000 people in a live stream, and I get roasted. I'm fine with it because I know that they've got goggles on, but they're like, Shanahan's such a good coach, how could you say that? Shanahan's the problem. He's 100% the problem. I played Bucky over Debo, and also thoughts on Tracy. Tracy got benched. Tracy had 2 costly fumbles at the end of the game last week. The last one gave the game away. And then today he had another costly fumble that changed the whole, trajectory at that moment in time. And so Tracy got benched, and he deservedly needed to be benched. And does he get another chance or crack at it next week? Is this a lesson that they're trying to teach him? Maybe. But as I said all week heading into this Sunday's games here, that he was a huge risk because we didn't know the ramifications of the fumbling. And with him fumbling again, exactly what I feared was maybe going to happen before the game happened during the game. And so we don't know what to think yet. But if Tracy's your running back too, you better be petrified right now, because he may not be getting even half the work, if anything. I don't know. He might get all of it, but we don't know anything. Dynasty Superflex got offered Caleb and a mid-first and Josh Downs for CJ Stroud. I'd rather have Stroud. I don't want Caleb as my starting quarterback. I'm sorry. I don't believe in Caleb. It's not that I'm not rooting for him. I just don't believe that he's going to succeed. Partly because of where he is. Like, you guys got to understand that. People think I'm a Caleb hater. It's partly where he went. It's Ryan Poles, not a good GM, which I got roasted for. Made the best trade ever, Smitty. Poles is not. Poles set up everything that you see right now is Poles' responsibility. So he should go. Eberflus needs to go. Shane Waldron got fired like I predicted. Worst offensive coordinator decision the Bears could have made. A 2 wide receiver set coordinator that had never called a running play by himself was brought in to nurture and cultivate Caleb Williams, an erratic player that had trouble not, staying on script and on schedule in college because he didn't have a good offensive line or great weapons around him. And you bring in Shane Waldron, who could barely coach high school. He'd be a good high school coach. That's it. There's something positive to say about him. He'd be a fine high school coach. Man, Smitty, give Caleb a chance. What in the hell are you talking about, bro? How many times do I have to... Where's this comment? Where's this comment? Smitty, give Caleb a chance. Where is that? Let me see. Where is that comment? Caleb. Where is it? I can't even find it anymore. I don't know. Too many comments here to grab it. But he says, Smitty, give me a chance. Give Caleb a chance. What do you think I do here? Is this a second chance school of fantasy football? Or is this, hey, what's going on right now? What is the likelihood of this thing looking horrible? What do you want me to do? Go out, give him a chance? What do you mean give him a chance? Give the Chicago Bears a chance to replace their head coach and offensive coordinator in another fashion to put Caleb in an even worse position? You think I trust Ryan Poles to replace Eberflus and to replace Shane Waldron? You want me to give Caleb a chance in Chicago?
Take a big laugh.
You got to be out of your mind. A buddy retired from the league and said no one gets the fantasy community until they retire and start playing themselves. Nick, appreciate you dropping the super chat, my boy. Nick to the moon. Saw Tracy get worked at the end. Team is better with him. Maybe you're right, but you clearly are a Tracy owner. Gaming, speaking about losing maybe your running back too. We all can see it right through the comment. But I agree with you. They need him, but he's got to hold on to the ball, bro, because you're not better if you keep fumbling the game away. He lost last week and very much helped them lose this week. Bucky looking like the next Achane out there. Jimmy, we need a Bucky button.
Too much.
We need a Bucky button. Hit the Bucky button. And then we need to rain Buckies. I think that's what it is. I'll create it. It's going to rain Buckies. I'll just have Buckies falling from the sky everywhere. Rain Buckies.
Let him cook.
That's what we're going to do with the button, if that sounds good to you guys. Thank you. Appreciate you dropping the super chat. Rain Buckies. You could just call. You want me to rain Buckies? I'll rain Buckies at any moment. You just ask me. I'll rain it. Smitty, is London for JJ too high at this point? I'd rather have JJ still, Colin. There's a world where London goes out and has 40 yards next week, and then you're like, what do I do with London? So, are we giving up on JJ? A week after everybody said I was nuts to even consider him somebody would sell low or even medium? No, I think we're okay. So go get him. Full PPR, wide receiver 2. Flex going forward. Evans, MHJ, Tyreek, Taysom. Flex going forward. How are we even contemplating sitting Mike Evans? I get he pissed you off today. This is his first game back, but Mike Evans by a country mile over all those guys. Mike Evans is a legit wide receiver 1. Hey, Smitty, should I replace McConkey now before it's too late? Need to pick someone up. D-Rob, Bateman, Palmer, Aguilar. Guys, is there any... I've been live here for the last, 32 minutes. Is there something new? Can somebody look up... Travis, can you look up anything on Ladd right now? Search real quickly on Ladd and see if anything popped up in the last 32 minutes. If nothing has, Ladd is the guy. So Travis, find out if there's anything else. But I'm not sitting Ladd for Bateman or anything like that. It's not like we have any negative information or any reason to think he's not gonna. Right here, take a lap on Debo. He screwed me all year. Also, Rams or Eagles. You hit on a lot of players, though. Love the show. Yeah, it happens, bro. What do you want me to do? Hit on everything? So I appreciate you calling out my miss. Debo, is he the problem, or is it really that I misdiagnosed Shanahan being an absolute imbecile when it comes to using him? And I don't think it's Debo's fault, but at the end of the day, it is Debo's fault because Debo's the player you draft. So I get it, But it is funny how people want me to take laps on players in the middle of a lot of good stuff going on, but it's fine. Had Hall, Chase, Brown on a bye, went up against Achane, Gibbs, and Addison. Woo! Somehow up 13 with Kupp and Tucker to go versus Hurts, Abdullah to Mars. That's crazy, bro. That's a wild matchup. You guys are going blow for blow. I think you got a real decent shot, I suppose. A real decent shot. It could be really close. Depends on the quarterback scoring and, how high the quarterback score. I have leagues where quarterbacks just don't score a lot. It sucks. They have like 4 touchdowns and 300 yards, and it's like 26 points. You're like, come on, bro. It feels like a 40 burger. You get 300 yards and 3 tutties, at least, you should be getting a 40 burger. And everybody could say we got to calm down QB scoring. And I don't agree. I think QB should be scoring 40 burgers like that. Everybody gets the same shot to draft a quarterback. You called Tua this week, Smitty. Tua got me 84 points. Whoa! What kind of league is that, bro?
Let's go! Mashed potatoes! You've just been Smitty approved.
Bro got 84 from Tua. I appreciate that. Nice job, man. Nice job. Yeah, Tua was a fun call this week. He was a good play. McBride out there eating up all the footballs. Thank you, Call Your Boy. Appreciate you. 84 points, man. That scoring has to be wild. Sell high. What rank is Jacobs and JSN for the rest of the season? What rank are they? I wouldn't sell Jacobs high. Jacobs is balling, bro. They trust him. They're leaning on him. He's in a groove. I don't think I sell him. I'm just going to say no. If someone comes knocking and there's an offer you can't refuse, bring it to me. But I don't think I'm shopping Jacobs. No thanks. I just say thank you. Can I have another? You know what I'm saying, bro? Charles trying to come in and defend Caleb. Smitty, Caleb is better QB than Richardson this season. Well, I think you're going to get some people that are going to disagree go forward. Let's just see real quickly. Who would rather start Caleb go forward or start AR5 go forward? You don't have to vote on my side, and I'm not even picking a side. I just want to. You come in here and you act like this is an absolute type of thing. Like, I get that AR5 was raptured, but I mean this is a closer call than you're trying to make it look. You just look at the chat. There'll be people on all sides. But you'll get a lot of people too that own Caleb that will want Caleb to be the call. But you'll see a tremendous amount of variety there from the different leans. Like Caleb easily, like I see a couple AR5. Here's one I hate both. Neither. I mean, you didn't get me on that, but I know you think you did, and I appreciate you anyway. But Caleb lives in a trash or a heap trash of a world, an absolute garbage pail that is the Chicago Bear organization right now. Chicago Bear organization, the New York Giants organization, and the Dallas Cowboys, the 3 worst run teams in the National Football League, and that's true. So Caleb lives in a pile of trash. And you can keep blaming it on that, but that's part of the argument and has been from Jump Street. From Jump Street. Bo Nix is better than Caleb, will be a better quarterback. JD5's better than Caleb, will be a better quarterback. Drake May's better than Caleb, will be a better quarterback. And mark my words, Penix Jr. is better than Caleb and will be a better quarterback. Caleb is the 5th best rookie QB in this 2024 rookie QB class. And it's a good class, so it is what it is. Caleb will leave doubters double thinking of hating on him. Okay. Charles, it sounds like you're speaking from like pre-week 1 right now. I feel like you haven't hit the play button on the season. I feel like you've got a DVR'd. You hit pause too long and week 1 isn't kicked off. I don't think you've been paying attention. He may have done good today in garbage time or trying to get his team back into the mix of this game. Doesn't tell a story about how Caleb doesn't have good decision making, doesn't know how to play on script, or he has to go off platform. He doesn't know what he's doing. He has an arsenal of weaponry. Yes, bad play calling, but he has something to do with this. He was given the best situation that has ever been gifted to a QB, a rookie QB, and he's crapped the bed all year long. The glazing is so weird on Caleb. It's so weird. It's awkward. It's awkward and embarrassing in some ways. It's just awkward. Why people think he's so good, especially announcers are like, okay, maybe this is where we see that magic.
Take a big laugh.
Hold on, Caleb. Did you see him? Did you see him get out of that one?
We interrupt this program to bring you a special message.
All right. Anyway, it's wild to me. So wild to me the Caleb supporters. They're just Bear fans is all it is. You know, it's not their fault. They have big goggles on. They think he's going to be good. It just takes like a handful of weeks for them to come back around, and they're like, you know, Smitty, you're right. you're right, Smitty. And I'm not trying to sell you that AR5 is like, you see how what's his name? What's his guy's name? Is it Charles? You see what Charles is doing? He's trying to pick at players and go at me about Caleb. Like, oh yeah? AR5. Like I'm not touting AR5 right now. And you can say all you want about Smitty. Well, then you missed. I miss stuff all the time. You think I'm 100% accurate? You think I'm 100% accurate? I'm not claiming to be right on everything. But when you come in here and start talking about AR5 to defend your Caleb stance, as if I'm even speaking AR5's name right now in this show, in this conversation, you want to bring AR5 up as if that's part of my argument because you need to make it a weak argument for me so you can feel good about your argument. It's wild. It's wild. Caleb isn't bad for the Bears QB. Caleb isn't bad for a Bears QB, Smitty. That's true. That's true. Jacobs, don't sell him, Mac. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it live. Kyler's a up and down mess. That's another quarterback that is hard to figure. And, you know, part of it is play calling too. But it's certainly disheartening as a Cardinals fan, which I don't let affect my fantasy takes or my show really at all. I'm so unbiased when it comes to that stuff. Kyler Murray, it's disheartening because there's a lot of weapons involved in Arizona. There's a lot of potential, including Kyler being one of those weapons. And to see him kind of punt a lot of opportunities, to see the Cardinals give up so much and make bad play calls and decisions, and Cardinals were climbing. They were a division leader walking into week number 12. Now we got to watch the Rams do what I believe the Rams can do. And if you think for a second that I'm rooting against the Rams winning, or Kyron scoring 5 touchdowns tonight, or Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua scoring 3 touchdowns each, you got another thing coming, because that comes first. I can compartmentalize my feelings. I don't think about the Cardinals when I'm doing fantasy football. I don't need to. I never will. And I don't want to. So some people come in and go, oh, but yeah, but Kyler's no better. I don't care. You think you got me when you come in and say Kyler's no better? You gotta be wild, bro. All right. Super chats. Let me take a couple phone calls before this game starts, and we'll be back for the Waiver Wire Show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Real brief phone call sesh. We're not going to be here long. We got this game kicking off. We have 528 people in here. Please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. I go live, I believe, more than anybody in the business, period. Because I go live before the games, after the games, in between the games. So Sundays are wild here on the show. We do the Waiver Wire Show tonight. When this game's ticking down to 1 minute, 2 minutes left, we'll already be live. The chat room will already be live and rolling. So yeah. Cap, you're live, Cap. What can I do for you, Cap, from Florida?
Oh, man, Smitty, man, what a week of production, bro. I mean, look, let me tell you, bro, okay? For all the people out there, bro, I've been listening to this guy for almost since COVID, bro, okay? All right? And let me tell you, this guy has hit more than he has missed, okay?
Let's hope.
I was in 13th place in a 14-team league, okay? Woo! I'm about to be second place and aiming for the bye week because this guy tells you have no fear, okay? So
Thanks.
you people out there, if you can't do it on a weekly, Try to do it on a day. There's leagues out there for weekly leagues that can get you paid, bro. This guy knows, okay?
Underdog,
All
Coach Smitty cap.
Coach
Smitty cap.
Smitty, bro.
All right,
okay?
later, bro.
Bye.
Charles, you're live.
How are you doing?
Is this Charles, the Caleb defender?
Yeah, I just want to give you a hard time. That's all, you know.
Oh, you're not giving me a hard time.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me at all, bro. Like I'm gonna go at you because I disagree with you. It's not because I'm trying to give you a hard time or that you're giving me a hard time. We're just speaking what we believe to be true. If you believe in Caleb, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
but
I think if he was had Kingsbury with him or somebody that knew how he was instead of Eberflus, then I think he'll be a better, QB.
Bro, if Nabers had a quarterback and a better organization, he'd be a better wide receiver. If I had a tail, I'd be a pretty damn good donkey. But none of those things can be true. That doesn't matter. None of that's in play. I don't have a tail. So, what's it matter? How are you making arguments about the Bears quarterback situation when that's part of the puzzle piece? And I told everybody that this was going to happen too, that in the middle of the year when Caleb looks bad or the Bears are losing and he's not the savior, what are people going to say? Well, it's the Bears. It's the fact that they have Shane Waldron. It's Eberflus. And that was all part of it. That was all part of it. You can't separate situation from player. We are handed players that are drafted into situations, and then we must make a decision on what that player's value is as a part of that organization. And the unfortunate part for your argument when you say, well, when he gets a better coach, is he going to get a better coach, bro? Is he really going to get a better offensive coordinator, bro? He was supposedly, and you probably believe this as well, handed the best situation a rookie QB's ever been handed is what they said. So how are we supposed to take in information like, well, it's his offensive coordinator and coach? I thought you said he had the best situation ever. So you tell me how I don't. You tell me how I don't judge a man that was given the best situation ever. You what?
Well, he does have the best situation, but he just has a lot of new coaches.
But he didn't. He was handed the best situation ever. That's what you all said. That's what all of the Caleb supporters said. That's what all of the Bears fans said over and over and over. Best situation we've ever seen. The announcers said it over and over and over. Everybody glazing the situation more so than even Caleb. The situation's better than even Caleb. That's what everybody said. So all I'm saying, when you come in and say, well, it's the coaching, you tell me how an organization that put the worst potential offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron in position to do what he did to your quarterback, you tell me how that organization's going to make a smarter decision the next go around. They're not. They're not. The Bears do not know how to cultivate quarterbacks. This is all part of the evaluation process. You cannot separate it from my evaluation, your evaluation, or anyone's evaluation on Caleb Williams. It is all connected. So if you want to say, Smitty, I think they're going to turn the tide there. They're going to get a good head coach. They're going to get a good offensive coordinator. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore isn't going to completely give up on the team. Guy looks like he just does not want to play with Caleb. Even though after the games, they try and probe him, and he's like, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. It looks that way. He could read the body language. Keenan Allen's going to be older. Adunze's wasting away. This team drafted Adunze instead of drafting offensive line when you can't even use Addison. Did you know that Shane Waldron was a 2 wide receiver set offensive coordinator and you draft a 3rd wide receiver instead of an offensive lineman? Do you know Shane Waldron never called a running play by himself walking into this job? This is a debacle. And Ryan Poles needs to go. If you think Ryan Poles is a good GM, just wait another year. I'll see you again in 2025 on November 24th. Because Ryan Poles is not it. All right. What else you got?
I love your show.
The show loves you back.
That's it. I just want to, all right. Bye.
All right, later. Travis, you're live.
Yeah, quick statement and then just a question. On Laporta, I've had some doubts here and there, but to everyone who's saying you have to sit him, like if you have a better option, fine. But
Sure.
still got 6 targets today.
And
still going to him. So
and he dropped a couple big
don't
plays.
Drop him, don't write him off.
No. He dropped a couple big plays that would have, just like MHJ's touchdown would have turned the tide. You know, like people are
Right.
I get it. You have to be reactive. I understand. And like you said, everybody's situation might be different. You might have Bucky Irving in your flex and you've been playing, you know, let's call it Debo and Tyreek Hill and CeeDee Lamb, and you got Bucky. And now you've got to make that decision, okay? And so you're fortunate. But some people that have Laporta, as you're saying, and then they have like a tight end like, I don't know, like even Kraft. You know, there's a dilemma there. There's a matchup
That's what I was gonna say.
concern. Yep. Like, who is the better matchup? You got to go off that with that situation. And Kraft catching a touchdown is the hot commodity now.
But he got a touchdown, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, Kraft's a better play than Laporta. And he might be. He was today. But Laporta did drop a couple big plays. He's still rusty. Look, you can make excuses of being an apologist or just say, yeah, if you got a better situation, then put him in. But if Laporta gets cut, I'm grabbing him immediately.
For sure. And just my question real
Kickoff.
quick is, are you concerned with the Seattle backfield now? Because like I have Walker and Charbonnet, but
Yes.
like I'm looking at it here, and Charbonnet 11 of 14 on third downs, and 3 of 3 inside the 5. It's like they're doing the Pete Carroll thing all over again.
Yep. The ghost of Pete Carroll is remaining in Seattle to navigate the running back decision making, and it's unfortunate. Which is why you heard me all week long not really gravitate towards starting Walker all week long. Any Walker questions, or it was like I think I said pretty much verbatim this every time. I love Walker. But I don't love his situation right now. I hope it changes. If it changes, I'll be the first person on board. Puka Nacua catching a 9-yard reception, gets run out of bounds first play. But yeah, I mean, Walker's a concern. Christian McCaffrey, a huge concern. Just rolling through a bunch of, let me see if I can pull this up real quickly. I'll just pull up the NFL teams and just say like running backs that I'm concerned about. Mixon, I'm not concerned about. This running back in Denver, as I said before the game kicked off, is going to keep rotating. You think it's Javonte. Now it's McLaughlin. The week before is Estime. You're never going to know, and he's never going to tell you. And from his own mouth, Sean Payton said, I will never tell you the truth about my running backs when he was asked about whether Javonte was going to start the season, come on off his ACL tear on the PUP list. And he said, I don't think so. He might. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does. And I wouldn't tell you the truth anyway. And so from that point on, we should know that he will never, ever tell us his running back situation or really anything. We're not worried about Chase Brown, obviously, on a bye. We're not worried about Achane, are we? Achane to the mother freaking...
Too much.
Achane to the moon. Stafford scrambling. First down for Stafford. Big rip. About a 12, 15-yard run right there. Where were we? We're over here.
I think Chuba. I think Chuba's an auto start after he showed it against
and that's
Kansas City.
That's
today.
why
like I sat him over. I think it was JSN, so it worked out for me. But I sat him over Ramondre because Ramondre did well against Miami, and I should have played him. You know?
And that's why I said with a lot of those questions, like everyone's like, sit Chuba. It's like, I know he's got a tough start, but the guaranteed touches make him a good play unless you got a really good option. Kyron Williams ripping off a big one. Kyron! Oh my God. Kyron, that was like a, I don't know, what is it, 35-yard run or something? God, he almost broke through for a tutty. Keep him in. Don't take him out. Take him out. Let's see. Let's count this off. It's 45-yard line roughly that the ball was at. 45-yard line. So we're gonna go 5, 10. Helmet goes flying. 15, 20, 25, 30-yard run. 30-yard run by Kyron. Almost pulled that off, man. That was what we needed. But you know what the Rams do better than anybody? They feed the deserving guy whose helmet was flopping around. What Rams player lost their helmet? Oh God, Kyron took out 2 defensive players. They're both on the ground. They collided right into each other. That was, who was that? Man, Williams looked good on that rip. So Kyron's starting off with about 30, 35 yards already. We're going over RBs. Worried about Hunt? Yeah, you should be because Pacheco's coming back. Worried about JT? No, I'm a little bit just because AR5's there and he's not. They do that. Not too worried about it. But there's going to be ups and downs. There's not going to be. But I think that they do lean on the run a lot. But we'll see. He's got a tough time staying healthy though. So you got Chubb, decent. There's a lot of RB situations that I think I forget why I even got on this topic. We're talking about running backs that we were concerned about.
Kenneth Walker.
Oh yeah. Just that there are a lot of situations like that. Okay, Puka's running to the left in motion. Cup lines up nice and tight. Hand the ball off to Kyron. Oh, fumble. I think he was down. But because the ball came out and everybody started scrambling for it, he started to panic about, like, I better grab it. But he was down. Okay, let me go over to Matt from San Diego, then over to Gavin. Matt, you're live.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? I happen to be in one of those leagues that still have trading. I have a quick trade question. Would you trade Gibbs and Devontae Smith for Bucky and Mike Evans? And if not, would you do it for Nico Collins and Mike Evans?
I'm sorry. It looked like that was maybe a fumble, and Sirianni tried to call a review, and I don't think he got the flag out in time. Sirianni, you're a joke, bro. Sirianni, I love.
That what happened?
Yeah, hold on. Let's see. Did they already snap the ball though? Sirianni's looking at his offensive coordinator. He's so mad at his offensive coordinator. Let's see if they ran a play though. I don't know. I can't hear, so I don't know if they whistled it dead. I don't think they did. So they ran that play. I thought they're challenging it. So it's going to be a fumble. Damn it. Kyron, you got to hold on to that ball, bro. He's not at risk of losing his job, for those of you about ready to ask. Okay, bro, tell me your trade one more time.
Would you trade Gibbs and Devontae Smith for Bucky and Mike Evans, or Nico Collins and Mike Evans, one or the other? Bucky's 5 weeks free, though. I'm about to be 6-6.
Yeah, you got to put Nico above Bucky, though. So Evans and Nico?
Yeah. For Gibbs and Devontae Smith.
Jeez, bro. That's so tough.
I really like my team, and all of my guys are 5 weeks free. I'm just not getting any consistency out of them.
That's a tough trade. Gibbs and Devontae Smith for Nico and Evans. Man.
I mean, does he need...
Oh, I'm sorry. Joe Mixon and not Nico and Evans.
What are you doing, bro? How do you mess that up? Okay, yeah, you probably got to take this Joe Mixon Evans side. Like, let's not forget how good Mixon's been. He's been better than Gibbs. So you're upgrading Evans and Smith. You got to take this Mixon side. I know he had a bad game, but that doesn't matter. That game doesn't matter for you. That game is in the rear view. It has nothing to do with the trade. He's the one that suffers
even
from
being 6-6, like risking the Week 14 bye with the playoffs. Like, you think it's okay taking that hit from Gibbs to?
Well, I mean, will Evans be will Evans be so good? Will Devontae Smith even play next game? And will Evans be so good that it's like having Gibbs anyway that week? Like, I take this side, bro. This side is a massive piece, in my opinion. If you disagree, let me know. But we cannot be running from Joe Mixon off one bad game. He's been absolutely on fire.
Yeah. Unless it's something where, like, if you lose, you're out of the playoffs, you know.
Yeah.
It's one of those, but if you can survive it.
But even then, Travis, though, you got to ask if like, will Evans be good enough like that week anyway?
Right. Yeah. No, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
well, Evans might be like, I mean, he might outscore both these guys in that week. Like, you can't really look at it.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Especially with how Smith is banged up now.
And Evans, it's so quick. This guy's a reactive Roger trading away both these guys who have bad weeks.
Yeah, no, he definitely is reactive. And then I'm also looking. What's the absolute lowest you would sell Tyreek Hill for? Because he's another guy that's kind of screwing up my roster week to week right now.
That's actually a question I have too. Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Say that one more time.
What's the absolute lowest you would sell Tyreek Hill away for right now? Because he didn't put up an unsellable week. You know, he did get around 10 points. It's serviceable.
Yeah, I think the thing you got to do is creatively trade him away. So you're talking about like Pacheco, who has unsecured value right now. You're talking about a player like trying to think of like an RB that would make sense here. I mean, like you could maybe trade for Bucky. It's not like everybody's gonna. There's a lot of people in this world that are afraid of something breaking before they can get rid of it. So you just don't know. Like the guy that owns Bucky might be like, I gotta get rid of it before it's a hot potato. It's called I call it the hot potato syndrome. It's the hot potato syndrome.
He might be afraid. Because he played the Giants. He won't do it against a better team. That type of stuff. So.
You know who else I'd go get? I'd go get Nabers. I still believe in the talent. All right, got to run, bro. Thanks, Matt.
Sounds good. All right, thanks for all the help, Smitty.
All right, Gavin, you're live as quick as you can, Gavin, because I got to run.
I just traded Waddle for Mike Evans. Do you like that?
Yes, I take Mike Evans. I think Waddle's really good right now, but
I have Sutton, Pickens, and Evans, and I can only start one of them each week. Which one would you keep, and who would you try to target with them?
I still think Evans is a wide receiver, a bona fide one. I think Sutton is very good. I mean, he even going into this week.
I have one spot left for those three. I pick between each week.
I mean, you got to make a trade. If you can't trade anymore, you just got to go off matchups. I mean, you got to make a trade. Sutton's got tremendous trade value right now. If you're worried about that, you start Evans. You trade Sutton on the massive high. Like you can't sell Evans high now anyway, so trade Sutton on the massive.
Like Sutton and Pickens for St. Brown?
Of course, yeah.
I don't have JJ St. Brown.
All right, gotta go, bro. Call back tonight.
Okay.
All right, Matt from Cali, real quick, and then I gotta go. Nap, I can't answer. I gotta go, bro. So call back tonight.
Cool. Puka and Mooney for Jahmyr Chase, or is that not worth it?
Yes, I'd take Jahmar Chase. But there is some concern about what happens if the Bengals are out of it. But like you can't really think that far ahead. You're just gonna end up playing for second place. You do that. You can't assume every team that's losing is gonna sit their players. That's not really how it works. The concerns are when there's an injury, like in an age consideration in CMC. How much time does he have left? Hill. Torn ligament in his wrist, and how much time does he have left to play football? This is why I handpicked these three players. CeeDee Lamb's situation's awful, and he's a diva. I could see him sitting out the last 2 weeks, or Dallas making a business decision saying we're just going to sit him, better our draft pick, everything. So you can't think about that with Chase. Go get Chase. Appreciate you, Matt. Call back tonight. Later, bro. Travis, final thoughts.
No, I'm all set.
All right, yeah, call him tonight. You gonna be around for the waiver wire show?
Yeah, it should be.
All right, cool. All right, later.
We doing the live waivers?
Yeah, we'll do live waivers. Yeah.
All right. See you.
All right, see you. We'll go live about right when the game's ending. Last super chat, and then I'm out of here. This one's from Chris. Chris, appreciate you. Hey, Smitty, psychologist. I'm in a 14-team $100 buy-in. Guy gave up. And I offered AR5 and CMC for Burrow. Am I a crook? If it's a 1 QB league, I don't think getting Burrow for AR5. Or you got AR5 and Christian McCaffrey for Burrow. Okay, I see what you're saying. A crook? I don't think you're a crook. I think if someone does a trade you can't help what the reasons for doing the trade are. Like, if you guys were in cahoots together and he said wink, wink, that seems shady. But if that's not the case, I don't know if you're telling me the full truth there. If you guys had like he's like, I'm done. You go ahead and have my players. I think that is a little wild. I wouldn't approve of that, I suppose. But if you're telling me he gave up and he's like, just you're making a trade with him and you're not in cahoots at all. I'm not saying you have to split the money. I'm saying if he's like your friend and he's like, I want you to win, take this, that's shady. Like that doesn't mean you're in cahoots, just because that means you're in cahoots, even if you're not sharing the money. But like, could Burrow be better? Like, here's the thing about the fantasy gods, bro. If you make this trade with ill intentions, Burrow will be the better side. AR5 will lose his job or get hurt, and CMC will get benched in week 15, and you'll have 0, and Burrow will be the best thing on this on this side of the trade. It'll be the only thing left. So that's the way that works. So be careful. If you made that trade with good intentions, you just ripped them off, that's fine. But I don't even necessarily know that you won, because I don't know what Christian McCaffrey is. Burrow might be the best side of that trade. I don't know. And if you got Burrow, like I said, it could be the best side of the trade. It's hard to give up CMC, even though you don't know what he is. I'll be back for the Waiver Wire show. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for the super chat, my boy. I'll see you all after the show.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come.
Hi, my name is B. John Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
Touchdown! Got him.
Achane.
He's Kyron.
People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.
Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Also additionally live whenever big news breaks, and also live most graveyard shifts, which will be after this game tonight. See you all then for the Waiver Wire show during the graveyard shift tonight. Deuces.